Hi, I'm Virginia Buckles, a GetSetUp athlete and retired PhD professor of neurology from Washington University in St. Louis, where I was also the executive director of the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center there for many years. So we're going to talk about the 12 myths of Alzheimer's disease. Today we're going to talk about the 12 myths associated with Alzheimer's disease. The first myth is that Alzheimer's disease and dementia are the same thing. People often use these terms interchangeably, but there is a difference. Dementia refers to the group of symptoms of impaired memory, thinking, reasoning, and behavior, whereas Alzheimer's disease is just one cause of dementia. The terms are likely confused because Alzheimer's is the most common cause of dementia and the most well-known. Alzheimer's does result in dementia, but there are other causes of dementia, including Lewy body dementia, frontotemporal dementia, and vascular dementia. All Alzheimer's ends in dementia, but not all dementias are caused by Alzheimer's. The second myth is, I will develop Alzheimer's disease if my parent had it. So if a parent or a close relative has Alzheimer's, you may be worried about developing it too as you get older. A person's chance of developing Alzheimer's is higher if they have a certain genetic variance that can be passed from down from the parent to the child. However, in most cases, just because a biological parent has Alzheimer's does not mean their children will develop it. It is a complex disease, and scientists don't yet fully understand what causes it in most people. Research suggests that in most individuals, a host of factors play a role beyond just that of genetics. Environment, lifestyle factors such as exercise, diet, exposure to pollutants and environmental factors. Smoking may also affect a person's risk for Alzheimer's. Myth number 3, only people in their 70s and older develop Alzheimer's disease. While the greatest known risk factor for Alzheimer's is age, this does not mean that only older adults develop it. For most people with Alzheimer's, it's true, symptoms first appear in their mid-60s or beyond. However, some people experience symptoms earlier, even as young as their 30s. When a person develops Alzheimer's between their 30s and mid-60s, it's called early onset Alzheimer's disease. Early onset Alzheimer's is rare, representing less than 10% of all the people with the disease. Myth number 4. Alzheimer's disease symptoms are normal as we get older. That's a normal part of aging. Many people become more forgetful as they age, and some forgetfulness, such as losing things from time to time, is normal. However, people can maintain their memory and thinking abilities to very old ages. However, changes in thinking and memory that affect daily function, such as those seen in Alzheimer's, are not a normal part of aging. Making poor judgments and decisions, in this case, susceptibility to scams, forgetting significant events or people, or losing track of the date or time of year are not a normal part of aging. If you're worried about your memory and other possible Alzheimer's symptoms, talk with your doctor. Even if you're not worried, get an objective baseline cognitive assessment that can help in the future if your memory and thinking does deteriorate. Myth number 5. There are no treatments available for people with Alzheimer's disease. Treatments are available. They're just not very good. But it is true, at this time there is no cure. Several medications are now available to treat symptoms and slow the disease in some people. Coping strategies are also available to help manage behavioral symptoms. While there is currently no cure for Alzheimer's, research has never been more promising thanks to scientific advances. Hundreds of clinical trials are ongoing, including both drug and non-drug interventions. These include testing treatments that target the underlying causes of the disease, as well as behavior and lifestyle factors. If I'm frequently forgetting things, it must be Alzheimer's disease. Even though memory problems are typically one of the first signs of Alzheimer's, not all memory problems mean a person has the disease. Some forgetfulness is normal as we age. Talk with your doctor to determine whether the memory changes you're noticing are normal or may be a sign of something more serious. In some cases, something else is causing the decline in memory and concentration. Depression and some medications can cause memory and other thinking problems. It may be possible to reverse some memory problems depending on the cause. That's why it's important to get it checked out. Myth number 7. You can buy supplements online to prevent or cure Alzheimer's disease. There are many websites and advertisements that promise certain supplements can effectively prevent, delay, treat, or even cure diseases such as Alzheimer's. In some cases, the information may seem reliable, offering advice on healthy aging and Alzheimer's to gain trust and promote their products. However, there is no scientific evidence backing these claims, and currently, no supplement has been proven to delay, prevent, treat, or cure Alzheimer's. Myth number 8. You can prevent Alzheimer's disease. There is no proven way to prevent Alzheimer's. I'm going to say it. However, there are steps you can take to help reduce your risk for this disease. So a risk factor is something that may increase a person's chance of developing the disease. It's also the risk factors that reduce that chance. Risk is a statistical relationship. Often, cause and effect is not known. Some risk factors can be controlled, while others, such as the genes you inherit, cannot. There is no guarantee that reducing some modifiable risk factors will reduce your individual risk of Alzheimer's disease. In general, and in large samples, leading a healthy lifestyle may help reduce risk factors that have been associated with Alzheimer's and other age-related health problems. Among other things, these include controlling your blood pressure, maintaining a healthy weight, staying mentally and physically active, preventing head injury, sleeping well, wearing hearing restorative devices such as hearing aids, and cochlear implants if needed. Myth number 9. Doctors cannot definitively diagnose someone with Alzheimer's disease until after death. Before researchers developed biomarker tests in the early 2000s, the only way to know whether a person had Alzheimer's was through an autopsy or a procedure performed after death. Now, lab and imaging tests are available to help a doctor or researcher see the biological signs of the disease in a living person. It is now possible for doctors to order a blood test to measure levels of beta amyloid, the protein that accumulates abnormally in people with Alzheimer's. Myth number 10. An at-home genetic test can tell me if I have or will have Alzheimer's disease. You may have heard about at-home genetic tests. These tests extract DNA from a person's saliva and provide reports of the genetic data it contains. It's important to note that no genetic test can definitively diagnose Alzheimer's. Genetic tests can identify certain rare variants that cause early onset Alzheimer's, as well as genetic variants that increase a person's risk for the disease. Care should be taken when getting genetic results. If it is only genetic risk that is being tested, you can take steps to reduce other risk factors, like exercise, diet, which is a good thing. If you find that mutations causing AD are present, we highly recommend results not be returned without genetic counseling because there is no cure. Myths number 11. I'm not a scientist, so I can't do anything to help fight Alzheimer's disease. Even if you're not a scientist, there are many ways you can help advance Alzheimer's research. Volunteers participate in clinical trials and studies. They've led to meaningful advancements in the detection, diagnosis, and treatment of Alzheimer's. By joining a trial or study, you become a partner in helping researchers advance knowledge toward effective diagnostics, treatments, and even preventions. All types of volunteers are needed, including people living with dementia, caregivers, and healthy participants as controls. As a family member or friend of a person living with Alzheimer's, you can help by offering support to the individual and their family or caregivers. So there is something you can do. Myth number 12. Aluminum causes Alzheimer's disease. Scientists are still trying to understand if there's a link between aluminum and Alzheimer's. For example, autopsy studies have shown higher levels of aluminum in the brains of people with Alzheimer's than those without Alzheimer's, but it's unclear what role aluminum may play. Aluminum is a metal commonly found in things such as pots, pans, and even the soil. An occupational risk of being a welder is Parkinson's disease due to the manganese that is inhaled when they are welding. Even their assistants are prone to get Parkinson's disease. Researchers continue to explore how environmental factors such as metals, air pollution, and other chemicals may affect a person's risk of developing Alzheimer's. And there you have it. These are the 12 myths about Alzheimer's disease that you might not have known. Make sure to join me in other GetSetUp classes.